All right, let's talk about some Marvel announcements. New York Comic Con, kind of big deal. Lots of interesting updates given from Marvel Studios. So I figured we'd go through the announcements, kind of give you my thoughts and all that sort of shit. So we'll start out with Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Season 2, which really, I'm glad this show exists, man. Out of all the goobly glob that's come out of the past couple of years, this is literally one of the best things they've done. And it's one of those things that I would like this to continue. I would like 4, 5 seasons of this. I think it's a great show. I really enjoyed it. I think it'd be fun to go back to. Maybe I'll watch it with Liam when he gets a little bit older. But what was announced at Comic-Con, basically Brad Winderbaum took the stage at New York Comic Con to discuss Season 2 of Marvel's animated Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The show will return to Disney Plus in fall of 2026 for new episodes, confirming a specific release time frame for the first season. Season 2 picks up right where Season 1 left off, with a major focus on Peter's lore and history. Fans will remember Season 1 ending with a reveal that his father, Richard Parker, was alive and in jail as Aunt May paid him a visit. There was also more action with symbiotes after the season ended with a tease of Venom. So they announced that Venom officially is coming back and going to be a part of Season 2. They did get their first look at Season 2, which confirmed Charlie Cox's return as Daredevil. Additionally, you'll get Gwen Stacy, which is pretty cool. The footage includes a new look at Otto Octavius and the alien symbiote Venom, which people went crazy for. Peter Parker returns to Oscorp to find a symbiote before striking a deal with Norman Osborn. The trailer closes with Robbie falling off a roof, a la Gwen Stacy in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it cuts right before Spider-Man smooches him on the lips. Interesting choice. We'll see how people respond to that. Winterbaum hyped up Venom by telling the audience fans of Venom should get excited. Yo, that's cool, man. Genuinely excited for that. Going to be cool late in the year. Now, Brad has said recently, which, by the way, I really like Brad Winderbaum, man. I really like Brad Winderbaum. I hope that Brad has a bright future at Marvel Studios. I frankly think he could take over for Kevin Feige eventually. Like, I think he's that talented. Unfortunately, being the head of Marvel Television with so much baggage and, you know, a lot of just, I have a bad taste in my mouth about Disney Plus stuff. That's going to hurt him, I think, a little bit, but I really like Brad, man. I really like Brad. And so he's out here hyping this up. Now, one of the things he said before Comic-Con was that they should be able to have this come out at a pretty quick clip. There's a delay, like most shows, between season 1 and 2, but from there, it should literally only have about a year between each season, and they should be able to fire these things off pretty consistently. So that's kind of cool, and I'm excited for that. Next up, X-Men 97 Season 2. And, man, I got to tell you, I'm very excited for X-Men 97 Season 2. Now, my original understanding of this was that they were going away from Bo's stuff completely. Okay, now remember, there's a story that came out, man, it was, I want to say it was like in the middle of last year, and this was actually after some comments that Bo made, because obviously Bo's been out there, he's been talking about Marvel, we've been discussing his comments, periodically. I forget exactly what happened, but it was like one of the things he said really pissed them off, and apparently the rumors were that they went in and changed a lot of Season 2, so that they would go away from Bo's story so that he would no longer get executive credit producer on the show. Now, I've been told that that's not exactly what happened, and I've been told that there's a good chance that they actually do keep a lot of Bo's stuff, which I think would be great. I don't think Bo has spoken about this publicly at all since the weekend, at least to my knowledge. I haven't seen him speak about this at all, but that's my general impression. I will say that there is a trailer out there for the season. It's leaked out online. I'm not going to pull it up for you right here because I don't want to get dinged on YouTube, but you can go check it out on social media. It's really cool. And it, of course, promises a lot of interesting stuff with Apocalypse and different X-Men. They're already doing pre-animatics for Season 3, and so they're going to roll right into that. Look, at the end of the day, guys, X-Men 97 to me, season 1 is like a masterpiece, and it was something Marvel really needed, and it saved Marvel in some ways, and it's literally like one of the best things they've ever created. Not everybody agrees with that, by the way. I saw, and I don't want to call anybody out by name, but Owen Likes Comics, the popular YouTuber and person that's on social media, Owen Likes Comics, that's at Owen Likes Comics, said he didn't really like X-Men 97 season 1. I literally felt like messaging him and being like, I'm starting a blood feud with you that will now last generations. That's how much I like X-Men 97, where I feel like going medieval on people that don't like it. Point being, I really like X-Men 97 season 1. And like many of you, I'm really concerned about what's going to happen from here. Obviously, Bo was a big part of season 1, and now that he's not involved anymore, a lot of concerns, dude. You know, I mean, number one, I have the concern of like, okay, well, what if they try to make it really great and they just miss? And he was really important. Oh my God, that just feels bad. But then there's an even worse version, which is like, what if Marvel makes the show bad on purpose? Like, what if Marvel wants to destroy Bo's legacy by changing all this shit and making it impossible for X-Men 97 season 2 to be incredible? So there's a lot of worry. There's a lot of like weird, like, what the fuck? But here's what I can say. I'm starting to feel optimistic about this. I feel like a lot of because it wasn't just Bo, we give Bo all of his credit, but it wasn't just Bo. And there were people that Bo really fucking likes and cares about a lot that are still on this show, that are still working really hard, and that cooked with him, that are now cooking without him. And they really love X-Men. They love X-Men. They love Marvel fans. The thing about X-Men 97 is it really has to prove to us that season 2 can be as good. If it can be as good or even close, frankly, I think we're off to the races because they're going to do more. I think they're going to do like 4 or 5 seasons of this. And it's literally one of the best things that's going on for Marvel right now. So it's certainly a weird one because the first season was so good and all the stuff with Bo and everything like that, of course. But I'm optimistic here. And so I'll read to you the basic updates here. X-Men 97 executive producers Eric and Julia Lee Wald, showrunners and writers on the animated series, took the stage with Davis to tease what's coming for the animated Mutant series. They kicked off the panel by confirming season 3 is in development and telling the crowd season 2 tees up season 3 in a massive way. The season is also confirmed to come to Disney Plus in summer of 2026. So summer 2026, dude. X-Men 97 season 2. I'm very excited for that. In the new trailer for season 2, fans see footage of Apocalypse, who will be the main villains of the new episodes. The X-Men are confirmed to be scattered across the past and future as they look to get back to their time period in the 90s. Love that part in the trailer when Bishop said, we got to get the X-Men back to the 90s. Dude, come on. If you're a 90s kid, man, like me, hell yeah. That's the shit we love, that nostalgia. So, yeah, very, very cool. Very exciting stuff. I'm going to move right along here, but of course, we'll address all of your questions and concerns. Daredevil, Born Again. Season 2. Marvel Studios moved from animation to live action for new information on Born Again Season 2, which is confirmed to debut on Disney Plus in March 2026. Again, head-to-head with Invincible Season 4. That's a bold move, Matt. I mean, I know you can't see it, but that's some stiff competition, brother. Okay. Season 2 coming in March. Fans got to see a new trailer for the new season, which offered plenty of new details about the story. Stars Charlie Cox and Kristen Ritter made appearances on stage. Karen Page and Matt Murdock rekindled the romantic relationship they built during the original Daredevil Netflix series. Getting milkshakes in a diner and giving off romantic tension. Matt is also attacked by something sonic in nature. So, Matt is done with that horrible, nasty bitch that we all fucking hate from the first season. What's her name? What was her name? What was his girlfriend's name? Oh. And he's back with Karen, who honestly, before Daredevil Born Again, I didn't even really like Karen, to be honest with Heather. Fuck Heather, man. Oh, Heather, you crusty hooker. God, I hate your ass. So we're all really excited that Matt is back with Karen where he belongs. She's going to take real good care of him, and she's not going to lecture him every episode, which is going to be awesome. Other shots included the highlights. Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk at a boxing gym appears to have an underground prison, similar to what fans saw at the end of season 1. There's also a flashback look at Foggy Nelson after his tragic passing in season 1. Basically, guys, the trades confirm that Foggy's back. They're totally going to be back. So yeah, Foggy, he lived somehow. Writer Jessica Jones opened up on screen in her first action for Marvel Studios since season 3 in 2019. She called it surreal and said that the feeling was as if no time had passed. They also discussed the Defending team, teasing a potential Defenders reunion in the Netflix Defenders saga. Oh, that would be cool. Okay, moving on. Wonder Man. Fuck, man. Okay, here's what to say about Wonder Man. I'm just gonna run you through it. They're trying to act like it's really cool and it's awesome and it's fun, but it got delayed into 2026. They're literally dropping all the episodes at one time, so they're just doing that binge thing. It's just really hard for me to act like Marvel doesn't know exactly what this is. So I think it's just a little too late, and there's been too much. People are pretty over it, and I don't think this little quirky side project dude, it's a Marvel project that glorifies Hollywood. Brother, we're over Hollywood, we're over Marvel. You fucked up. Terrible idea. I don't want to see shit about Hollywood anymore. My God. So I just think it's just a bad timing. It's bad timing, okay? And so I don't expect Wonder Man to do very well. It's all coming out on January 27th. Every single episode is going to drop then. 8 episodes. Binge it or don't. I don't care. They also talk about Vision Quest a little bit during the panel. And I don't think they have a confirmed date for it. It could hit in 2026 or it could not. Now, let me just tell you here. I mean, first of all, I want to give a shout out to Brandon Davis. He made this panel better than it was supposed to be, and Charlie was there because of Brandon. Kristen was there because of Brandon, and Brandon really loves the fandom, and he really wanted to turn up for this thing. And so shout out to him because he really did pull something off and make it very cool. That being said, I think Marvel TV stuff kind of underwhelming, man. You know, X-Men 97 is awesome. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's cool. Daredevil, I'm going to be watching kind of like this, you know, and even though it looks really cool and season 2 leaks are interesting, I don't know. It's just like hard to get excited for Marvel on Disney Plus, man. Like genuinely, it is hard to get excited for Marvel on Disney Plus. But I think they did the best that they could. I will tell you this. I personally am incredibly grateful that we're almost out of the woods. And I have a big video. I think it's like a 16, maybe a 20-minute video, which I think is going to drop tomorrow. And it's talking about how 2025 was the weirdest year ever for me covering Marvel Studios and why I think 2025 was actually the bottom. And so watch that video because it's really going to take you through like what happened, what to expect, how bad is it really, and is there actually the possibility of this thing turning around. But the TLDR, guys, and this is something we kind of know already, is 2025 was the year that Marvel just threw all the slop out. You know, they were like, we have all these projects. You know, originally they were supposed to drop 9 projects in 2025. And I think they just decided enough is enough. We're just going to throw it all out in 2025, get it all out of our system, and then will be right as rain. And obviously it's not every single movie or every single project because I actually thought Thunderbolts was great and Fantastic Four was great. But like, dude, that's what most of 2025 was. Like, just get it over with. And I'm thankful that we're almost on the other side of this. Once Wonder Man is over, it's really just Vision Quest. And then I think all the Goobly Glob shows, everything that was greenlit during Phase 4 and 5 is over. So that will be for the first time ever. We actually have, like, any show that we see from that point on will have been conceived of and greenlit when Marvel is at its place where it's at now. Which to me makes me a lot more hopeful because it's not going to be all this Goobly Glob side project, you know, 30 female characters to 1 male character, like all the shit that I think they did terribly. I'm actually really looking forward to getting past this. The problem for Marvel, and the question is, how much damage was done in 2025 by continuing to say that things are changing and yet give us stuff that Elizabeth Olsen recorded lines for 3 years ago? You got Kate Bishop Ironheart and Miss Marvel starring in your first episode of Zombies. Yeah, I don't think you wrote that last year. Are we changing or not? Right? And unfortunately, that question is going to hang over every single thing that Marvel Studios does and talks about for the next couple of years. I am hopeful for Marvel Studios. I can take this series of announcements here about Disney Plus as a good sign because some of it's cool, and by and large, it just means that like the worst is over now. We're almost out of the woods, and that is very positive. That is very positive, and that's very exciting. So that's my take on Marvel television. What do you guys think? What are your questions, comments, concerns? What do you think about X-Men 97? What do you think about Daredevil? What do you think about Spider-Man? What do you think about these shows? Aubrey says, with a $20 holla, and that's very generous, says, what's up with Marvel using black characters in the most whimsical and goofy way? They killed T'Challa and replaced him with She-Panther, and Mid Williams been over Marvel. Love the show, brother. Yeah, so I think, like, frankly, it comes from the fact that they're not doing this from a good place. And I'm not trying to judge too harshly here, but frankly, like, we have to be real. Hollywood decided to do this not out of the goodness of their heart and not because they had a story to tell, but because they thought it was like the right thing to do or because they thought it could actually maximize profit. At the end of the day, what Disney tried to do with Marvel and Star Wars was not done because they wanted to correct some cosmic injustice that the male gaze had caused, but that they were doing this to try to expand the reach of their brand and products to more consumers. Like, do you understand that? Do you understand that that's what happened? That they weren't like, oh, you know, we got to make up for what Walt Disney did and damn, Stan Lee was a bigot and shit like that. No, it was like, dude, we could sell Marvel figurines to Disney princesses. Period. Exclamation point. That's what it was. And so, what you're really asking me is, why did they fail? Why does it all feel so silly and goofy? Because it's not coming from a good place. It's not like this is a fan of T'Challa or like a big-time fan that was impacted by these powerful, strong black characters that wants to replicate that energy. No. That's not what's happening. It's like, oh, well, obviously, yes, we're going to use the black characters, but we're whimsy, we're Marvel, we're light, we're goofy as fuck, because, again, we want to sell Marvel figures to Disney princesses. So because there's no, like, I guess what I would say, it's soulless. Like, it's soulless. And because it doesn't have a soul, because it doesn't have a resonance, because there's not energy behind it, because it doesn't feel like, dude, you can fucking feel it. You can feel the difference. There's a difference between authentic story and authentic, like, caring for the characters, fan service or whatever, and, oh, this Hollywood person is just using your IP. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's truly what I think it is. It's not so much that there's an agenda. Like, maybe there's some people that are like, hey, I want the black characters to be goofy. But by and large, like, that's not what's happening. It's not this big agenda to, like, make the strong male black characters goofy. But it ends up looking like that because there's no counterweight. There's nobody that actually gives a fuck about the strong male black character. So because you don't have an anchoring like, oh, I actually give a fuck and I live and breathe this shit, there's nothing to counterbalance the whimsy. Like, does that make sense? Did that come across okay? I hope that made sense. That's my take on it, you know? And, like, look, there's this other side of it, too, which is, like, it's uncomfortable, and it's why I get a lot of hate, because a lot of people just don't get it. But, like, I'm really past trying to cater the way that I talk about this to reach people in a way that I don't even think they're going to give me the grace of trying to receive it that way. Meaning, for a long time, I would try to say things in a certain way because I knew people would take it a certain way, or they would conflate it with this other idea or this concept. And so I would try to like really craft the way I would say this in a way that would like really try to reach the other person, you know? But then you realize like most of those other people actually are not going to extend that same energy back to you. And in fact, it's actually the opposite of that. They're going to try to make you look terrible. So I've kind of flipped into this position. I think maybe a lot of people have, where like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm going to go tweet stuff like, I actually think the male gaze is awesome. And I'm so far past giving a fuck that like, I know there are well-meaning people that are going to see that and take it the wrong way and be offended. And I'm so far past caring that I don't even have empathy for those people anymore. I'm so mad about the state of things, which in some ways, again, is probably created because of how much consideration and like tiptoeing around and like walking on eggshells and all of this sort of stuff, right? I think that the softness and the over-capitulation to people that are just sensitive and low IQ has actually done serious damage to franchises and brands. So I'm over it, dude. I don't give a fuck if you're offended. In fact, I actually want you to be offended. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to win this fight with you by my side. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think, by the way, too, because like maybe that's like a, you know, an uncomfortable thing to sit with, or like it's like, oh shit. But I got to tell you, look around. I'm not the only one. I think you're going to see that energy. I think there's a fatigue. There's a fatigue of trying to put stuff gently. I think there's a fatigue of trying to get motherfuckers to understand. And I think you're going to see a lot of patience start to wear thin. And I think people might start to be a little more brash and a little more opinionated and perhaps a little more vocal about how they actually feel about shit, because I don't give a fuck about your feelings anymore. I need change. I need change. So I don't care if it hurts your feelings. I don't care if you conflate it with all these horrible things that you think I'm doing. I seriously don't care. And I think a lot of people are getting to that place. So I don't know. The discourse might, and I wonder too, what does that actually translate to? Because I think you could actually see a scenario in which things actually do get fixed up in the next couple of years. And then what will we say? Yeah, it's an interesting time, man. It's an interesting time, you know, just in general on social media, but particularly for Marvel. I just don't know how they overcome the perception of what Disney plus Marvel is and the perception of like how they look at and treat the fans. You know? Yeah. Long-winded answer, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. I'm optimistic about that Disney report that they're going to start focusing on young males. Yeah, I mean, it's at least reassuring to hear that they don't want to completely say fuck off to that group, right? And that they are understanding that like, oh shit, we probably do need to appeal to young male audiences. It's a little sad that like, I mean, look, I'm saving a lot of the Star Wars stuff for Nerd Theory because I'm gonna get real toxic tonight, boys. Oh man, I'm about to get real toxic tonight. Romance novels, my brother in Christ. Romance novels. Okay. So you look at Star Wars, and it just seems like they've kind of given up. They're like, no, we did make it into a girl brand, so we're going to have to just, like, live with this girl brand. Probably going to have to put Rey in every movie now. We're making literal romance novels. Like, that's what it is. I think Marvel has a chance to, like, to dial it back and to, you know, make some of their more traditional male-friendly, you know, male-centric Marvel brands actually work and activate again. But, like, they do have to make changes, you know? So, yeah, it's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. Romance novels sell, though. I mean, that is true, Carl. You know what used to sell well? Star Wars. So look, I get it, brother. Trust me. I know hey, Carl. Cheers. Cheers. Very good bait. Hey, you're the best, Carl. You're the best at rage baiting. Pretty good bait. Okay, you almost got me. I almost did a straight 40 minutes on it. We're going to save it for tonight. But yes, good job. Yeah. What time is Nerd Theory? Probably 5:30, brother. I haven't, probably 5:30. Theory usually sets it up. All right, anything else to say about Marvel Television, man? Wait, the romance novel shit actually real? Oh, it's real. Jay. Again, let's just save it. Trust me. I'm going to cook. I'm going to go Super Saiyan in toxicity. Super Toxic Saiyan 4. Like that shit is I'm gonna do an acapella. I'm doing a freestyle rap. Okay? I'm doing I'm doing OnlyFans. I don't know. Just show up tonight. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. Just show up. Just fucking show up. All right. Anyway, anything else we want to talk about? Should we call it a stream? Or should we talk about Rivals fall off? I guess we already talked about James Gunn getting fired. That's kind of interesting. We could talk about Disney failing. What do you guys want to call it there?